All right, guys, go to my YouTube channel at The Murkison Method. Please like and subscribe. I am putting out free content every single day. This will definitely help you in your real estate business. Today, I am actually concluding the topic of how to start a real estate rental business. We already went over the first 3 steps out of 4, which is creating a business plan. Second one was securing financing. Third one was acquiring properties. And now we are doing the last one, which is managing the properties, which is the most important part of this whole operation here. As you can see, managing properties. This is the key to the whole operation, because you can have hundreds and thousands of properties of rental units, but if you don't have the right management and if you don't management right, it will all crumble down, okay? So we're going to concentrate on this one. So the first one is, are you going to hire a property management company or self-manage? Okay? Or self-manage. All right? When I first started, I hired a local mom and pop management company in my college town, and they took advantage of me because, first of all, I was young, just out of college. I was very green and new to the business. So I was living in New York. My properties were in Pennsylvania, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, where I went to college. And they used to tell me that some properties were vacant, but really they were rented and they were collecting the money. So you have to be careful. If you are going to get a property management company, you got to be careful who you pick. You should do a thorough interview on these property management companies before you do it. But if you do decide to self-manage, it's not simple, but it's definitely pretty easy to do, especially if you have 1 to 20 units, you can definitely do that yourself. And I decided to do that after having that experience, and it has been great so far, and I was able to get up to 500 rental properties. So you have to decide if you're going to hire a third-party company. If you do, make sure you interview them properly, or self-manage. Just make sure you have the correct systems and things in place. Second one, how are you going to screen tenants? Okay, you got to do background checks. You got to do credit checks. You got to do proof of income. Are you going to use a third-party company to do that? That would be great. Or are you going to do that yourself? And which programs are you going to use to do that? So you got to keep that in mind. That's the key, because you want to make sure you screen these tenants so you have the right tenants that's going in your properties, because if not, it's going to cost you more in the long run, okay? The third one, lease agreements. You got to make sure you have the perfect verbiage that protects you as a landlord in these agreements, because, this can also bite you in the back, if it's not properly specified in the lease agreements, okay? And the most important one is systems, especially for maintenance. You have to have systems in place for this operation to work, okay? You got to have systems for the operational part of it that deals with the tenants, and you got to have systems for the maintenance part of it. Maintenance part of it is the whole key to the whole operation here, okay? If a tenant call, you got to make sure you're out there to take care of the problem, because it could get overwhelming, especially if you have a lot of rental properties. It could get overwhelming and can get out of control, and you won't be able to provide the service to the tenants. So you gotta make sure you have systems in place that everybody is on the same page. Now, regarding the maintenance, of course, if you handy, you could do the maintenance yourself, or you can outsource it to a third party, or you can partner with the contract. That's what I did. I partnered with Jesse, who's my contractor, and he started out managing my properties. Now we do flips together, and now I have a big operation. He has a big operation as well. So there's different ways to to get this done, but you got to make sure you have systems in place, because you want to make sure everybody is on the same page. Like, communication is very key. So if a tenant calls for a maintenance, you got to make sure your contractor or whoever is in that department gets the actual work order, communicates with the tenant when they're coming out there, and things like that. Okay, so that concludes this management piece of it, which is hire. If you're hiring a property management company, make sure you interview them, or self-managed. Make sure you have great systems in place and great team in place, actually. Make sure you screen tenants. Make sure you have a tight lease agreement that protects you. And make sure you have systems, especially with the maintenance part of the business, okay? That concludes this basically section on how to start a rental business. This is exactly what I did when I first started. And it has got me to where I am right now, 20 plus years in the business, and just staying true to these steps, okay?